business. Well, I just want to say to everyone out there to welcome back to this channel. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. And liking and subscribing meaning that you'll never ever miss another broadcast or never miss another video posted here. First of all, I want to thank all the people who's been very supportive and very helpful in getting this channel going. I really appreciate it. All the supporters, all the people that's been involved. I want to thank people like Darian Clark and some other people behind the scenes, Tedston Holder, for the support as always, and it's appreciated. So why are we here? We're here to talk to the man, Tedston Holder. So let's not delay any longer because I know horse fans want to know a little bit about what's going on in the horse world. It's coming on to that time, and I guess we should bring him on in and let's chat some horses.
Good night, Derek. Good night, everyone.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the platform. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be back with you guys again.
Well, you know what? Furthermore than being just welcome back to this platform, I want to say welcome back to Canada, man, because we haven't have a chat in a while. You were out and about, and you were out in Europe. What brought you to Europe, man?
Family stuff. My little niece got married.
Oh, wow. It must be a really happy time for the family.
Oh, yes. She married a nice chap.
Yes. So Sweden. Well, before we get into the horses, let's talk Sweden a little bit. What's it like over there? Did you get a chance to get to any tracks or that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Right off the plane, I went to a racetrack. It happened to be the race day. So, and that track was only 20 minutes from the airport. Borough Park. They had a 8 race card. Small fields. I mean, there were 4 to 6 horse fields, 8 races. Everything there looks very English.
Oh yeah.
It looks very English. But it was a fun afternoon.
What was the audience like? People in the stands and stuff like that, or
no? People in the stands, but it looks like they're hurting also for attendance. I mean, I would say there might have been 200, 250 people. But that was an afternoon, a Tuesday afternoon. So I didn't get to see a weekend races, and they were having one of their classics at another track later in the week on Saturday, but Saturday was the date of my engagement, so I wasn't going to leave the reason for being there to go to the races. I'd have some questions to answer.
Well, you're back now, and you're in the hot seat because, you know, I'm pretty sure you must be a busy man right now. Media must be hounding you, coming after you, trying to figure things out. The gamblers, handicappers, everybody wants to have an edge on this year's King's Plate. And I want to say to you, man, first of all, congratulations for actually getting a horse into the King's Plate.
It's a dream come true. Thank you.
And, you know, how does it feel to actually have a horse and finally have a horse in the King's Plate? I know it is one of your dreams, but what does it feel like right now?
I don't know. I mean, I know that he's one of the horses that, as long as we enter, should make it in, but still it just feels like a regular race going up to this point. I mean, I imagine come Sunday, the nerves are going to take over, but at this stage, everything's just fallen into place and being where it should be.
Well, you know, I mean, I think every trainer would love to be in your shoes. You know, I mean, the top trainers, the low trainers, everybody wants to be at this point on the track where you got a horse for the biggest date at Woodbine, and that's the King's Plate. Is this something that you can get used to?
Yes. I mean, I'm already looking forward to. I don't have a two-year colt, but I'm already thinking maybe I'll get a chance to be in the Oats next year. You know, it's that kind of feeling about a 2-year I have. And again, she's another Mrs. Speaker, so distance is not going to be a problem with her.
Well, I know last year, when we were talking horses, you emphasized that the 2-year olds always give you hope, and and that being said, the hope finally got you to somewhere that you've never been before, according to the articles that I've seen online. Ted Holder Racing Stables, they're somewhere they've never been before. So that's an awesome accomplishment.
Yes. I mean, just being there, a lot of history is going to be created, and that's the exciting part for me. The fact that I'm going to be a part of history. Winning it, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to react. I don't know the feelings that are going to be going through my head, through my stomach. It's just,
Well,
I'll wait to see what the day brings.
Well, it's a horse race, and horse racing means there's a lot of people who will be rooting for you, and then there's a lot of people who probably won't be rooting for you, obviously for obvious reasons, and that's usually depending on the top board. So, how confident are you with this horse that you have, Kaukokaipuu?
Uh, I don't want to sound like I'm blowing my trumpet too loud, but the horse is in good order. He shows up and runs his race, runs back to his last race. He's gonna give a good account of himself. I mean, don't think distance is gonna be a problem anymore. That question being answered. Fitness wise, I think he's there. I mean, I think he's progressed since his last start. He's happy. He's gained weight. He's playing out there while he's trained. So, and I'm coming in a bit fresh. It's not that he hasn't been training. I mean, I worked him pretty much every 10 days. Just keep him. If he's not running, he's going to work. So he's been training.
Nice, nice. So I mean, the horse been training. He just haven't had a race in over 4 weeks. That's not necessarily a bad thing, is it?
Not necessary. I mean, he's already had 4 taxing races this year. I mean, he came out April 27th. He ran, just got beat by a better horse on the day. And he came back in May, 2.5 weeks later. He won impressively. And 21 days later, he ran the stake, won. And then another 21 days after that, he had his test in the Marine. Then after that, I mean, he's worked every 10 days to 2 weeks.
No, Ted. I mean, this horse. I mean, I've spoken to you last year about this horse. We've had casual conversations, but I mean, this horse has improved so much compared to last year in terms of attitude. That's what I really want to talk about. I mean, last year this horse was a horse that I can or anyone could really pet. You can't really pet this horse now. how different is that?
Growing up, now his hormones are kicking in. He's now matured. He's a now when bullies get to the playgrounds, they let everyone know they're the big boys in the yard. He has his favorite people. They can get into his zone, but if you're not in his crew, you're not getting close to him.
Well, that's quite a character.
Again,
They always talk about horses and their characters, man. Go ahead.
Once he gets out the stall, he's everybody's friend until you get on the racetrack again. Then he wants to win every dash.
Well, did you always know that this horse had this kind of potential from last year? Because I mean, the horse ran so many seconds and always, looked like he was going to bust right through, but stop a little bit short. What's your thoughts on that?
I knew he had the potential. I was a little worried that he wasn't going to do it, but then again, you run second, then you look at it and say, you know what? I just got paid. I just got a decent piece of the purse. You don't really want to break your maiden early as a 2-year-old unless you're going to be running in state company afterwards. So the way the condition books are in here, he ran in May. If he'd won, then I would have to either attack state company early because it would have been maybe July, August before you get a 1X race for a horse like that. So it's not always the best thing for a horse to break its maiden in the first start, unless you're going to look to sell him, because then he's attractive to buyers. So he didn't break his maiden last year early. He didn't win, but along the way he paid bills and he learned.
Well, I would have to say, is it fair to say that the horse is peaking at the right time?
I would like to say that also. I mean, his last 3 races have been his best races on paper and performance wise. I mean, he won. Then he was second in a grade two, in a grade three race where he, you know, if he was a different trip, looks like he could have won. I mean, a little bit of a unfortunate incident in the race, but that's horse racing. You can't. It's not like they're riding in lanes. Sometimes they're gonna get a little tight, so you gotta deal with it.
Well, I mean, coming off that last effort, I know you were pretty excited. I mean, at one point, I guess you thought that he was going to run away with it, but unfortunately, he didn't. And but you still got hope that the Kaukokaipuu still put on a good effort and still save some for this next race.
Yeah, I mean, he did put a good effort on. To be honest, when I entered the race, I was just hoping to cover the expenses for that race because we supplemented for that race. It was at the stage when we entered, it was a small field, and it was like at worst we ran fourth or fifth. We still get our supplementary fee back. So, and he gets the questions are answered. Then is he going to go around 2 turns like we hope he would? Is he going to handle that kind of company? You know, we answer those questions. Then, if we have to regroup, we had 6, 7 weeks to do that. But he passed the test. I was saying flying colors. So we go on to the next step, which is going to be the King's Plate.
Well, it's a major accomplishment. I mean, I can't utter that no more than that. But let's backtrack a little bit. Was there any point last year where you felt like you just needed to shut him down so that he can rest because he had all those seconds and stuff like that, but you still had some hope and after resting him and you watched him, I mean, you were pretty confident because you told me this. I mean, you did tell me that the horse was a little bit different this year.
Yeah, last year I think I stopped on him, not stopped, but I sent him to the farm. I won't say July towards the end of August. He'd already had 5 starts. I think it was 5 starts. So I sent him to the farm for a month, let him run around, have some fun, control exercise in a round pen, still with some green grass because it was good weather. Then I brought him back and we ran 2 more times after that, another 2 seconds. And usually, I like to go when I see Roger on the rail, I have a conversation with Roger Atfield. And I mentioned to him my ideas and plans for the horse. And he advised me if I feel that way, the best thing to do, no, is no. You've got your experience. Again, it's not necessary have to break his maiden now. Let him have a good winter. So after his turf race at the end of September, early October, I I stopped on him, got him down to Florida. Actually, spent another couple of weeks there while I arranged ship, and then got him down to Florida while the weather was not too hot, and there was still, again, the grass was still growing in the paddocks down there, so he can be turned out and enjoy himself.
Well, I think that was some good advice because it worked out for the positive and it worked out very well for you and your stable and for the horse. The horse has turned heads just slightly because I mean last year people saw the second places, but I mean, as a $10,000 purchase, I can only imagine people are there shaking their head and say, "Hey, Mr. Ted Holder, he really has an eye for horses," and maybe they'll be knocking a little bit more on your door.
Well, hopefully, I mean, it's not always that every mediocre purchase turn out to be a diamond. That's one of the few Cinderella stories out there, and I hope it continues.
Yes, indeed. One can only hope so because if there's one thing an owner would like is for someone like yourself to make a small purchase, but a horse can turn out very well. That being said, it's still the King's Play. It's still the biggest race at Woodbine. And do you have any jitters right now?
Not yet. Again, I'm not. If not, it's not kicked in yet. I treat like every other day at this stage, and again, don't know what's going to happen come next Sunday. I'll have to wait and see.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk about some of the other horses. I really haven't even looked at other horses yet. I've just been kind of following the horses here locally to see, if those horses that we have here could really compete for the King's Plate. So far, your horse has answered the questions asked and seemed to have gone beyond some of the earlier ones that were winning earlier last year. How exciting is that for you? How does that make you feel to know that your horse is in a positive light?
Uh Again, it's exciting, and I think being able to get him down and get some rest and have a good winter was positive and a good thing for him. Like a lot of these sources raced up to the end. They raced up until the end of November, while he'd already had 2 months rest and relaxation. So if there's anything bothering him, he's healing while he's growing. And let's not forget, they're still 2 year olds, they're still babies who are growing. So he gets a chance to grow and mature while the others are beating themselves up.
Well, that being said, I want to ask you about this because early in the season, there's been a lot of people, talking about the King's Plate being pushed back till August. So, do you think that it being pushed back to August has helped some of the horses?
It's neither here or there. I mean, whether it's in July, we still got to prepare for it. Whether it's in August, we still got to prepare for it. The key is to do right by your horse early and be prepared for whatever they throw at you. I mean, they announced the date in January, so then you can start training 2 or 3 weeks later. If it's in July, you just got a month to work with. You start early or you start late. You decide.
So, right, I mean, it's just a mindset. It's just a matter of training and preparing the horse for whenever that is.
Yes.
Okay. You seem confident. You seem um, to be very confident in your horse. You seem to be confident in your operation. And I've also seen a lot of changes, in your operation. And tell me, how has that having a horse like Kaukokaipuu changed the attitude in the barn and the stable for you?
Well, having a horse of that caliber, everyone's happy. Everyone wants to be around that. And when you have a good crew who buys into what you want to do, is wonderful. There's one boss, they follow, they do things the way you want, and everyone's happy. It's a lot of laughing and smiling going on right now. Let's hope it continue August 21st.
Well, uh, I agree with you. Who wouldn't want that? Sorry with that. I want to ask you a little bit something now about your statement after you made after Kaukokaipuu won the Queenston, and you had dedicated the race to Ricky Griffith. I mean, it's a time, right? Maybe fast forward now, and you all know what has happened. How big was that for you? And that statement to me impacted me and struck me the most. And after seeing everything that went down, I thought that was tremendous, and what you said was outstanding, actually.
Uh, the time was right. I mean, Ricky, Chris, myself, Ricky and I have a lot of history, a lot of close history. I mean, Ricky treated me like a brother. There was a point in time here in Canada on the racetrack, there was only like 10 of us Bajans. And Ricky and I really got close then. I mean, his brother Chris and I were already friends, but back then Ricky and I got really close. I mean, we rode in the car together every day. It was shut. Other than sleep, Rick and I saw each other in passing at work. We'd talk. So for those 2.5, 3 years, we got very close. So, and I learned a lot from Ricky. There was a time, I would say, when I was getting into working with 2-year-olds on my own 2-year-olds. I remember in Florida back in 2000, I was having some problems with my babies. I was trying to do it all on my own. So here I am learning and I'm trying to teach a young horse. Now, Ricky, he had his own, he was just starting to train, finish riding, and he came to me and said, Ted, I'm going to help you. Don't send your horses out early in the morning. Let's wait till the end of the afternoon and we'll do it together and get your horses going. I mean, that's the kind of guy Ricky was. So he took time out of his own day to come and help me get these horses going. So any success I have, I got to remember the people who were there for me. And Ricky was a big part of that.
Yeah, outstanding, very outstanding. I mean, yeah, I mean, there is a celebration for Ricky pretty soon, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of memories, and people will remember him well. Um, if this horse wins, Kaukokaipuu, Tedston, what's it gonna be like in Church Village in St. Philip, man? What's the party atmosphere like?
I don't know, but this horse wins. I'm going to celebrate my mom the next day. So she won't be able to attend being an amputee. So I'm going to go and have some time with my mother the next day. So if I go missing, everybody knows where I'm at. I'm in church for the St. Philip.
Outstanding, man. You don't seem like the emotional kind of person, Ted. So I'm pretty sure it would be a time where maybe rather than hide that emotion, I beg you to record yourself and post it so we can see that emotion if it does happen. Because again, I gotta tell you, it's still horse racing, and anything can happen in a horse race, right?
Yes. I mean, I'm just hoping for a safe trip, get around there, and let's get a piece of the pie. If we get it all, I'll be going to my favorite spot and looking over the ocean.
Nice. So win or lose, you'll still be celebrating, and also your team will still be happy, and you'll be looking forward to the next race, or you haven't decided or make a decision on anything like that yet.
I'm taking it race by race, you know, one day at a time kind of attitude. I mean, in the back of my mind, am I thinking to the next step? Yes, you have to. I mean, it's the Triple Crown series. There's a lot of money to be made through it, so you got to try to get a piece of it.
Well, we know the horse can manage the grass, but we haven't seen the horse in dirt. But we also know that the horse has been improving steadily for the last several months, um, and it's a major accomplishment for you and for your team. Um, will we see any changes after this King's Plate, or will you be just relieved that it has passed? Because to be honest, I don't know how you do it because it seems like a bottle up kind of tension that's going on.
Uh, Changes in terms of what, Derek? I mean, with the horse or with me?
Well, with everything, it's a whole package. So I just want to ask and put it out there right now, before someone else asks the question.
Uh, no plans. I mean, unfortunately, I made a rather change, but it's fortunate also. But
So you made
again,
another change?
no, I'm getting to the. Let me finish.
Oh,
I
okay.
unfortunately had to make a change from Jason. I mean, that was heartbreaking for me because I had hoped that Jason would be the guy I'm progressing with. It didn't work out. We had a meeting, the syndicate members and I, over the winter, and we came to a decision. You know, it was tough. I mean, to be honest, I could not tell Jason for 3 months. I mean, I was avoiding talking to one of my best friends because I didn't know how to break the news to him. But had to be done. I mean, majority rules. So I understand. He understands that's a business, and that hasn't changed anything between him and I. So I went out. I tried to get a rider who would commit. I offered the ride to a couple other agents. None of them would commit early. They wouldn't even come by the barn. So when Rico showed up at Woodbine, his agent brought him by. I talked to him and I gave him the call for the first race. Rico and I had a conversation. I mean, if we like this horse and you're willing to commit, we're going to go to the dance because this horse, his second work of the year back in January, he told me, I'm ready now. I figured it out. So I, the plans was in motion. The wheels were turning. I just needed someone who's in commit. Rico said he's in. Actually, afterwards, after you worked him, he said, I'm on board. So that's all I needed. You stick with me, we're going all the way. So until he says he's had enough, in terms of riders, there's going to be no changes.
Well, I can only imagine that must be very pleasant for him, his team as well to hear, and also it's good to know that the horse has a familiar person on top of him. So, or doesn't even change anything. You're the horseman right here. You would tell me, does that change anything with the horse, or not really?
I don't know. I mean, they have they have a connection, yeah. They get along, but as a horse to ride, he is a pretty straightforward horse to ride. He has one quirk. You gotta get around with that, and once you figure that out, you're gonna have a ride. You're gonna have a good time.
No. This week coming up, I mean next week, sorry. you're gonna be a very busy man. Um, are you up to it? And have you even thought about what's happening at Woodbine? And it's gonna be like a circus over there. It's gonna have all kind of people coming at you.
Uh, I think I'm prepping for it. I'm not gonna say I'm prepared for it. I'm prepping for it. I mean, today alone, I did 3 interviews. You know, I'm not bothered by it. No worse for the wear. So if that's a test, bring them on.
I gotta ask you this though. Usually as a fan, when we see the top American trainers enter horses and races, our eyes open up. For you as a trainer, does that do anything for you, or just know what you got and you say, "Bring it on, let's see what's happening"?
I have home field advantage. So if they want to come to my backyard, I'm a fighter. So you got to know where I've hidden my weapons. If you're coming to my backyard, you got to know where to duck and dive. It's wartime, buddy.
Oh man, that's outstanding. That makes for good media. I'm pretty sure you can tell that story to some other people too, media personnel, and let's make that happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, look, I want to tell you congratulations again, man. You're gonna have a very busy week. Enjoy every ounce of it because as they always say, these things they come, but hopefully you can get used to it, and you next year or the following years we can see you back here again, man.
I'll try my best and I'll take it all in. I mean, this is a once in a lifetime horse, so I'm gonna enjoy the ride. I mean, he's taken me along for a nice ride so far. Let's hope he keeps bringing me along with him.
Well, I know I'll be there, and hopefully I can get to see whoever wins. I'll be there to witness it. I can't be as confident as you because I'll leave that for you. You're the trainer, owner, and so forth. So I'll let you slide into all that confidence and let me just kind of observe and document and watch what's going on. I'm happy for you and your team because I've seen the excitement around the barn. It's a small barn compared to some of the other ones, but it's a lot of excitement, and I can see how excited Eric is. Can you share a little bit about what Eric and how he's feeling?
Eric's the man. I mean, he's nervous. Yeah, I can tell he is nervous. I mean, this is his first play horse. Eric's been around Woodbine for at least 20, 25 years. I've known him a long time, and he's worked for me for the last 3 years. But he's a man. If I am not there, Eric makes sure everything goes on smooth, and Eric's not taking his eye off the source. I mean, he didn't have a day off in 3 weeks. I had to say it to him last night. Text him, Eric, listen, you don't have a busy day. You take tomorrow off. Because he's on guard.
Wow, tremendous. I want to ask you something. Before we, I want to ask you this because there was talk about quarantine horses and stuff like that. Is that still happening, or your horses are staying in the barns?
No, the three powers to be, the AGCO, Woodbine, HPPA came together and agreed that they will have outside security come in to stay with the horses. I mean, it means now that every horse is basically going to have his own security guard with him, unless they're in a barn where there's a couple. But that's the decision. They're going to have guards at every barn, and that's the case. I think the Polo has 2 in the race, so he's only going to get 1 guard. Lowly me, I'm going to have 1 sitting right under my awning there in front of me.
Now, is that 24 hours?
It's going to be on the 40-hour security entry time. As long as entry is closed, the security guard shows up.
Oh, wow, man. That's a big deal. Not really, it's a big deal.
Not really. I mean, they've done it for several years. I mean, they used to do it 40 hours out. You would see they'd come and they'll have guards there. When there is a race of this caliber, it's something they do. COVID might have slowed it down. I don't remember seeing too many. Actually, last year I didn't see any, and that might be COVID or cutbacks. But in the past, there were guards that the horses 40 hours out.
Oh, well, I think it's going to be a good race. No, are all the horses confirmed for the race yet?
No, we're not going to get a final count until Wednesday. They're going to draw on Wednesday for the Saturday and Sunday, and then they'll find the best fields they can for Sunday, of course, and go from there.
Well, there's some really exciting times in the Ted Holder Racing stables, and I want to wish you all the best. Hopefully, you get the top prize and get to celebrate, and everyone's happy and make some history.
Oh yes, trust me, Derek. I hope I can. I mean, again, I want to be part of the history being made.
Well, if you want to be part of history, you can even do something you've never done before. I don't know what that is, but in front of the camera on that day, if it happens, you can do something that you've never done before. Just something to shock the hell out of the world, and that would be awesome.
Yes, let's hope the horse and I can do it together.
All right, Ted, man. Thanks again. Thanks for doing this, and thanks for the support over the last year or so, year and a half. I really appreciate everything you've done, and some of the other guys, the backstretch people, they've kind of welcomed me now, and I feel very, very welcome when I go back there making my videos and taking photos and so forth. So I appreciate all you guys for doing that for me, and it's been awesome.
You're welcome, Derek, and it's a pleasure to support you and watch your show grow.
Thank you. Well, on that note, we're gonna bounce, and that was Ted Holder. Hopefully, someone out there catches something from all the information that you've just provided, and hopefully they can make a wise decision on that day.
Well, let's hope. You bet the horse with a funny name.
Yeah, I actually had to. I was before I end. I was gonna say I saw online someone's giving you a hard time about the name of the horse. I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, that's my Florida dad. No, he's the one who broke the horse for me, John Shaw. He breaks. I buy them and I send them down to him in Ocala Classic Mile, and he'll break them in, and I get down there in January and take him over from there. And him and his team has done a wonderful job over the last 4 years for me.
Nice. Well, Ted, best of luck this next week, and hopefully you get a top prize, and hopefully your dreams are filled and everyone is happy. All right, so best of luck to you.
Yes, pray for that. Thanks, guys. Good night.
All right, good night.